Hello guys, welcome back to the Gravel Travel channel. I'm Caitlin and today we're gonna be going through my airport EDC that I'll be using in 2024. This is like a trifecta of bag system that I always come back to. The actual bag might change, but I always try to keep these three. And so we have our roller carry-on suitcase, we have our backpack, which is the bulk of all of our gear that we'll be EDCing, everyday carrying throughout the airport and while we're traveling. And then we've got a really tiny fanny pack that I just wear on the front, and this holds kind of like your absolute go-to items. Now I know somebody's gonna say already, you're already thinking it, why would you include a third item when they only let you carry on two? Well, it's because I know that this tiny fanny pack will fit right here in the top part of my backpack, and a lot of flight attendants don't seem to care, so I always risk it. Sometimes they ask me to, sometimes they don't. Either way, I know that I have a place to put it, but it's worth having just for walking through airports and everything else. So with that, let's go ahead and dive into what's inside of these bags. Let's go. Also, I just wanted to say before we hop in that none of these products are sponsored. They're all just stuff that I genuinely love to use and I find myself using over and over again. So I feel like they could be useful to you guys too. All right, first things first, we're not gonna get into the contents of the luggage bag because everybody packs so extremely differently. So I'm gonna get this bag off the table, but just know that having a bag that can spin in all directions and is carry-on size is absolutely vital, because if your back ever gets exhausted from carrying your backpack, you just throw it on top of here and keep rolling, and you'll thank yourself later. Your back will thank you later. So we're gonna put this off to the side, but these are the two bags that we're gonna get into what EDC is inside of. So let's go. Okay, so for the fanny pack, this is the Baggu Crossbody Bag. So if you're like, Caitlin, what does that look like when you're wearing it? It looks like this. It just sits right here. A lot of times flight attendants literally think that it is a part of this backpack, so they don't really mention anything about it. But if they do, I just take it off super fast and simple, and I'll throw it into the top part of this bag. But if we want to get into the contents of this bag, it's extremely simple. What I like to keep in here is things that I know I will need. So the first thing I keep is my Topo Designs little wallet. This is actually sold as like an accessory for mountain stuff. So you can like put it on your jacket or on your backpack while you're on excursions or whatever. I use it as a wallet because it's kind of limitless in what you can fit inside of there. And so I really, really love this wallet. And then inside of my Baggu bag, there's a pouch, and I like to keep my passport in there. Super, super simple. Obviously you're traveling. Next up, main compartment, Dramamine, because sometimes I need it on airplanes. That's the all natural ginger version. Then we have my iPhone with the MagBack magnetic case on it. This case is awesome. You literally can stick it to any surface you want that's magnetic or metal, and you're able to film stuff on the selfie camera super, super easily, pretty much anywhere you are. So I love that. Next up, I bring one of the Gravel little silicone bottles, and I fill this with soap because a lot of times in foreign countries, you're not able to find soap. And so this way, I just always have some with me, and even in airports, I can just rely on having my own. So it comes in super clutch. And then next up, I've got my contact lens eye drops. Those are always needed on airplanes. A chapstick, you know, pretty simple stuff. And then in this front compartment, I like to leave my glasses so that I can always have my sunglasses. And I wear these just like without the sunglasses too, because they come apart. And yeah, it's a nice vibe. The yellow is good on your eyes when you've been in a lot of blue light, so I really prefer it. But yeah, as you can see, it's a very simple setup that I keep in my fanny pack. And that again is so that I just have the main things that I need and I'm not really like weighing myself down. So all of this, of course, could fit in there. It's just, this is the stuff that you're gonna be using over and over again while you're traveling, whether you're going through security or you're paying for something or you're feeling a little sick. All super useful. That's what goes in the fanny pack. Okay, so one of the first things you'll notice on the outside of my backpack is the Gravel travel blanket. This blanket, once you travel with it, you honestly cannot go places without it again. It converts into a pillow, it's a blanket, it like snaps on you so it doesn't fall off. I'm absolutely obsessed and I really can't imagine traveling without it anymore. So that is a definite going on to the bag. Then right here in my side pocket, I have a little tiny mini tripod that I am also obsessed with and use for all of my filming. I just keep it right here. Then we've got a little cleansing cloth. And then once we get into that main compartment, we'll get into kind of like the actual EDC things. The first thing being my noise canceling headphones. These are absolutely vital for having a good and nice trip where you feel like you're not gonna go insane over a baby crying or something like that. Next up for EDC that I definitely am using in an airport, it is my Travel 311 bag that I fill with basically my MacBook charger, my Ugreen 100 watt 4-port charger. This thing is awesome, it plugs into the wall. Then you can plug that into a converter. I always am bringing my Samsung T9 and T7 drives, which I'm sure you guys have seen, but they're just so small and thin and awesome. So always want those with me. And then another really awesome tool is the small rig tool, and has a ton of different tiny little lug nuts and everything like that. You've got a Phillips head, you've got a flat head, you've got different hex screws, super helpful to have with you at all times. And then also, of course, another charging cable, which is the Anchor 311 cable, and this can charge various devices. So I like to keep that with me. Another thing that goes with it is my Travel cable tie, which we sell these actually for our toiletry bags, but you're able to use them as cable ties too. So that's what I use them for when they're not on the toiletry bag. And then I'll bring also a USB-C to C cable so that I can connect my hard drive. So as you can see, super simplistic EDC there for the tech stuff, but I am using all of these items over and over again, and I can't imagine traveling without these. Okay, next up in the EDC lineup, we have what I keep in this kind of top front compartment, and it's pretty much just fun stuff. So usually on different trips, I'll kind of change my mind on what I'm bringing, but in this compartment, I have just like a little tiny journal and some pens here. These are gonna be some Muji pens and highlighters. Those are my favorites, so I always just keep them in here. And then we've also got our pen for our e-reader tablet and also just note-taking tablet, the Remarkable 2, which we did a video on just a little bit ago, so you can check that out. But I'm absolutely obsessed with it, and I definitely want to travel with it. And then also, because you have to have some fun things while you're traveling, I like to bring a deck of cards and also some Yahtzee dice, because you never know how long layovers are gonna be or if you're gonna get stranded in an airport. They're just really nice to have. So sometimes I'll bring one or the other, but if it's a really long trip, I'll bring both. Okay, so that's the front compartment. Now we're gonna get into kind of like the tank or the mothership of this whole organization, which is obviously our laptop and everything that we're using for that side of tech. So in the back of this bag, I have my 14-inch MacBook Pro. This is the M1 Max chip. Absolutely love it for video editing. It is a total game changer. Can't imagine traveling without this or editing on anything else. And then also in the back of this bag, I keep my Remarkable 2 tablet, and I keep it in a case just to keep it safe. And yeah, I use this for note-taking, journaling, reading while traveling. Absolutely love it. And I make sure that it's with me, especially going through airports. All right, in the main compartment of this bag, we have basically my camera gear that I've chosen to bring on the trip. It could be my FX3 setup, it could be my Ricoh GR3, it could be my Fuji X100V. It just depends where I'm going, what I'm shooting, how long I'll be there, things like that, but this is kind of where that all lives. And then I make sure to bring my gravel hat. These are awesome. Lance designed these so that they can literally like get folded up and completely ruined, and then they pop back and they keep their shape, and you're able to flatten out the bill. They're also waterproof, so I love them for like if I'm having a bad hair day or I just want to wear a hat. So I always keep that kind of just crammed in the top part. I always make sure somewhere hidden within my bag, I have one of these Eufy smart trackers. It's basically an AirTag, but it's like half the price. You can buy a pack of 4. I put them throughout all my bags, my roller luggage, this, my fanny pack, pretty much anything I could just leave anywhere, and then I'm able to track it on the Find My app on my iPhone, which is super helpful. So again, I'll literally just put that in like some pocket people can't find. And then over here, we've got our final things, which is the PGY Tech SD card reader and case. So this is just gonna keep them all safe, but at the same time, allows you to plug it into your computer where you can actually read SD cards, micro SD cards, and full-size SD cards, which is really useful. And then I've got some audio stuff over here and my Insta360 X3, just as an action camera to bring on trips. Some trips I don't use it and some trips I do, so I like to have it. And then finally, just tons of batteries, just tons of Sony batteries. those you're gonna have to bring if you wanna make videos. So I make sure I always have those with me. And I really love this bag specifically because I'm able to keep them all neat and together. Although this is quite a lot of stuff for EDC, for me as a videographer, it's things that I find myself using all of the time while I'm traveling. And when I leave some of these things at home, I'm pretty bummed about it because that means I'm probably not able to, film how I would like to. And whatever bag it fits in is always changing. I'm always testing different backpacks out, trying to find the best one for travel. But so far, this one's pretty great. Okay, so that is basically the EDC that I bring in my backpack when I go on pretty much any trip. The longer the trip, I will determine what things I actually need. If it's gonna be a week-long trip, I'll probably just bring a journal versus bringing the Remarkable 2 so that I can kind of cut on weight while traveling. But as for the other items, it really doesn't matter what you're putting inside of them. I just think kind of this trifecta of being able to carry whatever you need for everyday use is within having a backpack, a roller suitcase, and a fanny pack. Because these three can kind of contain everything you need, and then once you get to your location, you're able to dump your luggage and you're able to carry whatever you want in here, and if you want to bring a camera along, you just sling it over your shoulder, making things as simple as possible. I will have all of these products linked below so that it's easy for you if any of them seem fitting for your EDC needs or whatever you want to carry while traveling. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you comment below. Maybe you use some of these items and you absolutely can't live without them. I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of this gravel travel community. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do that. Most of our viewers are not subscribed, so come be a part of the community, chat with us in the comments, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.